I've had an Xbox One for 4 years. I bought it over the PlayStation 4 because I'm a sucker for special edition consoles, and the Xbox One had a Day 1 edition that came in a black box with a controller that said Day 1 2013 on it, and a special achievement stating that I had an Xbox One Day 1 on Xbox Live. I also paid $500 for it because it came with the next generation Kinect. I was excited for the Kinect because it could determine facial expressions, individual digits on your hands, and also sign you in just by sitting on the couch. The Xbox One had more features than the PlayStation 4, and to me it was worth that extra $100. 4 years later, I have 15 physical games. I also have a lot more digital games that I got for free each month on Xbox Live Gold membership, and out of the 500 gigabyte hard drive on my Xbox One, I have about 2 gigabytes left. It's safe to say that I get a lot of use out of my Xbox One, but it's not really for playing games. The wife and I use it as a media machine to watch shows on Hulu, Netflix, and HBO Go. I bought the Xbox One because I wanted the Kinect. Now that feature is slowly being phased out. Each year, there's been less and less functionality with the Kinect, and they finally killed it in 2017. In 2013, it was actually easier to navigate the menus with the Kinect than it was with the controller. I thought that since the Xbox One came with the Kinect, developers would make more Kinect games. It's that age-old question, what needs to come first, the apps or the gamers? Devs won't make the apps if there isn't an audience, and gamers won't adopt the tech if there aren't any apps. But that wasn't the case. 2015 would see Microsoft ditch the Kinect to cut costs and give developers more power to make games, and eventually apps that had been built around the Kinect would start to focus on the controller instead. Sure, you could buy the Kinect separately, but you would have to spend an extra $100 to get it. That was then, and now you can get one at GameStop for $20. I actually picked up an extra one because I wanted one for my PC so I could use it as a webcam. I already had the PC adapter cable, so an extra $5 with my Power Up Rewards coupon was worth it to me. This is a really nice webcam if you have all the necessary parts already, but spending $50 when there are plenty other easier options instead of this one would make more sense. But I can unlock my PC with my face and 3D scan stuff, so that's cool. So being an early adopter for the Xbox One and seeing it grow now, I have some thoughts about some things. So first off, the interface. Stop messing around with the interface, Microsoft. Seriously, the interface has changed at least 5 times since launch. It's not that I mind a few tweaks, but they seem to change it drastically just to mess with me. I can understand the first UI change. Removing the Kinect meant removing a lot of interface that was built for it instead of using the controller. Fine. The second time was to make it look a little bit more like Windows 10, and let's face it, the Windows 8 interface was cool when it first came out, but it really got dull if you weren't using a touchscreen. Now it seems that with every interface update, it gets less and less intuitive. You used to be able to press the home button and it would take you to the home menu and you can choose another app. Now it brings up a bar with about 5 of my most used apps, so anything else I'll have to search for. The good news is that I can still say something like Xbox, go to Netflix, and that'll still work. Which brings me to my other gripe, Cortana, Microsoft's answer to Siri and Google Assistant. Cortana is a pretty good service on your phone or on your PC, but the Xbox not so much. I used to have it on Windows Phone, and Cortana at the time was pretty robust compared to the competition. You could ask her to remind you the next time you were at Target to pick up dog food, and now you can do that with Google Assistant, and that's a little bit faster. The problem with Cortana is that it needs to connect to the internet to determine what you're talking about and then bounce back to execute the action. Even things like, hey Cortana, go to Netflix would take a couple of seconds to register, if she heard you at all. It just became a super pain to use Cortana that I simply just turned her off and went back to using Xbox commands. They're vastly superior. Does anybody use these commands without the Kinect? I'm pretty curious. Also, saying Xbox turn off used to prompt you to say yes to confirm, now it just turns off. But it's a good way to get my dog to go to sleep. Wait. Xbox turn off. Xbox turn off. Now let's talk about the games. Like I said earlier, I have 15 physical titles. 2 years ago I had 6. I also have countless games that came to me for free with my Xbox Gold collection. But this wasn't always the case, so it's a welcome change. Also, Microsoft's philosophy has changed in regards to building Xbox as a platform. You can now play games built for the OG Xbox on the Xbox One, and a lot of Xbox 360 games are compatible as well. This really makes the Xbox One a one-stop console and will most likely be the case in the future. If you're not that big on buying Xbox One games, you can also buy digital copies of the games and then play them on your PC. In the future, Microsoft has stated that this will be the case for all their exclusive titles, and it's the reason why I bought Cuphead on PC instead of the Xbox One. Now let's talk about the controller. The first generation of the Xbox controller was kinda meh, and it required its own connector for the headset and any other device. But that changed with Generation 2. Now it has a 3.5mm headphone jack and port, so you can use a regular microphone if you want. The third generation made the controller Bluetooth for better connectivity, but I have this beast, the Xbox Elite controller, and it's quite possibly the best controller money can buy. And it better be because it's pretty expensive. I use it primarily for PC because that's what I game on, and it's awesome. You can map the paddles to specific buttons, make your own layouts, and do whatever you want, and it makes games like Rocket League and Cuphead infinitely easier for me because I can use my fingers to hit buttons while I'm hitting the face buttons at the same time. I also bought a wireless adapter for the PC so I can use it wirelessly. I don't think that the Elite controller would have come along if the Xbox One had sold well out of the gate. So my relationship with the Xbox One has evolved. I'm no longer that interested in console gaming as I was 4 years ago. I have a modern PC with a really nice monitor and also an office where I can enjoy those PC games when I want to. The Xbox One is a Netflix, Hulu, and HBO machine now. I have thought of buying an Xbox One S or even an X. The Scorpio Edition was really tempting, but I don't have a 4K TV. I'm still rocking this Panasonic Viera Plasma, which is 720p and still a quality television. Sure, I can plug my console into an LG Ultrawide, but I don't have the desk space, and again, not really interested in playing Xbox games since I can play a lot of those on the PC. But that isn't to say Microsoft isn't going in a great direction, it's just going down a path I choose not to follow. I'm one of the very few people who bought the Xbox One for the purpose it was originally designed for, an all-in-one media device for the living room. It could have been much more, but I'll concede that $500 is a lot to spend on a Netflix machine with an extra HDMI port that you can speak to. A lot has changed for media consumption in the past 4 years, which made the Xbox One as a media hub no longer viable. You can buy a Chromecast for $35 and have everything the Xbox One offers media-wise except for a Blu-ray player, and those are very inexpensive as well. The more powerful Xbox One X is great for gamers, and I'm impressed Microsoft was able to pivot on the platform so fast, so kudos. I'll keep my Day 1 edition Xbox as a reminder of risks of being an early adopter. So if you like this video, I'd appreciate a thumbs up, and if you're new here, please subscribe. I'm Super Nintendo, and I'll see you next time.